Let's start with a sharp, sometimes written a .NET. This one first showed up around the early 2000s, tied to the A.NET project and the broader .NET ecosystem that was growing at the time. Next up, the A0 system. This one's a personal favorite of mine. Created by Grace Hopper and her team at Remington Rand back between 1951 and 1952, A0 was one of the earliest compiler systems ever built. Just let that sink in for a second. We're talking about the very early days of computing here. Then we've got A+ programming, first released in 1988 by Arthur Whitney. A+ is an array-oriented programming language derived from something called APL, which we'll actually get to a little later on. Now ABAP, that stands for Advanced Business Application Programming. It was first released in 1983 by SAP. So why was it created in the first place? Well, ABAP was built specifically for creating business applications and reports within SAP's enterprise software ecosystem. Let's talk about ABC programming next. This one was developed over the late 70s and into the 80s by Leo Jewitz, Lambert Meertens, and Steven Pemberton, working out of the Centrum Wiskunde and Informatica, or CWI, in the Netherlands. So why was ABC created? It was designed with one goal in mind: make programming easier for people who weren't professional programmers. It focused on simplicity, readability, interactive programming, and high-level data structures. Moving along to ACC, sometimes referred to as accumulator or accumulator variable. This one comes out of the 1960s and 70s, a historical language tied to early compiler development. Then there's accent programming, which is associated with rational software and rational synergy. So what was it exactly? Accent was a programming language built around the rational software development environment, designed for software development and systems tied closely to rational's engineering tools. Now here's one where I want to slow down for a second. Action. It was first released in 1983. And I have to be upfront with you, the actual creator of this one just isn't clear from the sources I have. So instead of guessing or throwing out a name that might be wrong, I'm going to leave that part open until it's properly verified. What we do know for certain is what the language actually was. Action was a fast programming language built for Atari 8-bit computers. Moving on to ActionScript, first released in 1998 by Macromedia. And what was it used for? ActionScript powered interactive Flash content, things like web animations, browser games, interactive websites, online applications, and full multimedia experiences. Next, let's talk about Actor. Created in 1986 by Gul Agha and researchers at MIT. Actor was an object-oriented programming language built around something called the Actor model of computation. And now, Ada. First standardized in 1983, named after Ada Lovelace and developed for the United States Department of Defense. Then there's Adenine, created in the early 2000s, associated with the Haystack semantic information management technology. So what was it? Adenine was a language designed for expressing and manipulating information within that Haystack environment. Next up, ADVPL, short for Advanced Protheus Language. Its origin is Brazil, developed by a company called TOTVS. So what is it? ADVPL is a business programming language used primarily with the TOTVS Protheus Enterprise software platform. Now let's get into AGDA. First released in 2007, developed from earlier work by Ulf Norrell and the wider dependent-type programming language research community. So what is it? AGDA is a functional programming language and also a proof assistant. Let's cover Agilent V, also known later on as Keysight V. This one was first released in the 1990s by Agilent Technologies and later carried on by Keysight Technologies. What is it? V is a visual programming environment used for test automation, electronics, scientific instruments, and measurement systems. Then there's Agora, coming out of the 1990s, an object-oriented programming language. Agora was really built around object-oriented concepts, particularly message passing and flexible object behavior. Now AIMMS, the Advanced Interactive Multidimensional Modeling System, first released in 1988, developed by Paragon Decision Technology. So what is it? AIMMS is a modeling language and environment for mathematical optimization, used for supply chain planning, logistics, scheduling, transportation, production planning, and resource allocation. Next up, Aldor, first released in the 1990s, developed at NAG alongside related mathematical computing research. What was it? Aldor was designed for advanced mathematical programming, and it was particularly connected to the Axiom computer algebra system. And to close things out, Awk, first released in 1977, created by Alfred Aho, Peter Weinberger, and Brian Kernighan. And here's a fun little detail: the name Awk actually comes straight from their initials, A for Alfred Aho, W for Peter Weinberger, and K for Brian Kernian. So what is it? Awk is a text processing language. And that's going to do it for this one. If you like videos like these, comment down below. Also, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to join Team Pretzel Pete. And just know there are tons of languages out there beyond what we covered today, so if any of these caught your interest, definitely go do a little digging of your own.